Here's your weather video for this Sunday, February the 26th. I'm meteorologist Bill Murray, getting ready to march February out the door and let March roar in like a lion. Hopefully it'll roll out like a lamb at the end of the month. The National Watch warning map, more lionish than lambish today, especially across the western half of the country. Lots of winter weather advisories, winter storm watches, winter storm warnings, and even blizzard warnings in effect now for parts of the west. Sierras of California are going to be my focus over the next few days. I love that area around Truckee, Lake Tahoe, up to Mammoth Mountain. They could be experiencing 3 to 5 feet of snow between Monday night and Wednesday. Winds of 100 miles an hour on the ridgetops, 55 miles an hour in other areas, creating blizzard conditions. Of course, they've had a tremendous winter of snow, which is a blessing in that it will provide much-needed moisture as it slowly melts through the spring. Too bad we can't just lock it all in. But you can see all those winter weather advisories, winter storm watches, warnings, even those blizzard advisories in the various shades of teal and purple and magenta and red. Wind advisories, wind watches and wind warnings are in effect from Wyoming through Colorado into parts of New Mexico, western Texas, back through Oklahoma into southwestern Missouri and southeastern Kansas. Dense fog along the Gulf Coast. These are dense fog advisories. Some patchy fog over north and central Alabama this morning, but not really causing any problems. Be careful if you're out driving early, heading to work or to church or whatever. There may be some fog to about 8 or 9 a.m. We've got some winter storm watches in northern Wisconsin, experiencing bigger snows later in the week, as you'll see in just a moment. The big story today is the SPC has a moderate risk, level 4 out of 5 on their scale for portions of Oklahoma. There, West Oklahoma City up to Enid, Elk City, down to Altus. They're expecting tornadoes this afternoon, and that will be interesting to watch. February, moderate risk. Large enhanced area around that. It covers a good bit of Oklahoma, up into southern Kansas, southwestern Missouri, back into the Texas Panhandle. Wind and hail, the main threats as the system evolves into a squall line later today. It could affect areas all the way up in northwestern Arkansas, northwestern Arkansas, southern Missouri, western Missouri, as we go into the late night hours tonight. Now, this activity will not impact Alabama, at least as severe weather. That's not something we're going to have to worry about. But we will watch for a risk of severe weather tomorrow in the Ohio Valley and areas to the north of Alabama. This is the upper pattern across North America on this Sunday morning, showing that big bowling ball of a system there over the west, causing all sorts of mayhem as it continues to the east. Big ridge of high pressure extending all the way into the Dakotas, centered there near Greenville, Mississippi. That ridge will be holding on tenaciously as we go through time, even as that western system ejects. This is early Monday morning. The disturbance there, quite strong, but weakening, is over southern Iowa, northern Missouri, and moving into western Illinois. This brings the severe weather threat to our north. Places like Kentucky, southern Indiana, and Ohio tomorrow. We'll be watching that, but the ridge just hangs on by a sliver as we go through time and keeps us on the warm side and prepares us for the next system, which is coming out of the west. It's moved through the four corners here by Thursday morning, getting ready to eject out into the plains and the Midwest, and this will bring us a chance of rain and thunderstorms late Thursday night into Friday. Here we are at 3 a.m. early Friday. That system's rolling into Arkansas. It will at that point probably have produced severe weather over the Arklatex into the Arkla Mist and be pushing a weakening squall line into Alabama. I would expect the Storm Prediction Center later today on Sunday, recording this on late Saturday night, I would expect them to have an outlook area on their day 5 outlook, which would be for Thursday. We'll check that and let you know back on the blog later this morning about that. But as you see, as we go through time, that system ejects. It leaves a big deep trough over the eastern United States. You know what that means? That means cooler weather for the weekend. We won't get out of the 50s, at least many of us won't, on Saturday, climb back into the 60s on Saturday, and we'll have some overnight lows in the 30s. Some of the normally colder locations, North Alabama, could see a light freeze on Saturday and possibly Sunday morning. We'll watch that. And you'll see as we go through time, though, the ridge builds back in, centers across the southern United States. Here's Monday the 6th as we enter the week 2 period. High pressure is large and in charge, and that means back to the 70s for us pretty quickly. The strongest part of that ridge breaks out right there from Arkansas into North Alabama, so it looks like that week 2 period is going to be fairly nice for us here in Alabama. The system, the pattern begins to change, though, and as we go through time into the period, no real cold air on that look, but there have been some runs later, earlier, recent runs that have indicated we might deal with some cooler air somewhere along the way. These are temperature anomalies. Areas in orange and red are warmer than normal as we go through the early part, middle part of the week, end of the week. You can see Alabama, much of the south, well above normal. Much of the west well below normal, but that ridge loses its control by the weekend. Cooler weather is in tap for almost all of the nation at that point, including us here in Alabama. As a matter of fact, you'll have a hard time finding any warmer than normal weather by next weekend. You'd have to go to Maine, some in the plains there, some in extreme South Florida. But as you can see, we're pretty cold into the beginning of week 2. But things quickly begin to change, and we warm up nicely as we go into week 3. Some pretty heavy showers across parts of central Alabama yesterday. If you were out and about in the Birmingham area around 4 or 5 o'clock, you noticed some really dense rainfall. Soak you to the skin pretty quickly. Nothing like that today. This is the HRRR showing few light showers tonight. Moving up through Alabama as we get a return flow off the Gulf of Mexico. Here comes that line of showers. After a busy day to the west, it's really falling apart. Showers work their way into western Alabama by 6 or 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, Monday, and the main line of showers is past the Mississippi River by that time, and working its way into Alabama, shadow of its former self, but its back end will push through the I-59 corridor by late afternoon, so expect a few showers during the day on Monday. These are temperatures this morning. Lows across the area in the 50s up north, middle 50s, upper 50s across central Alabama, 60s to the south. Daytime highs today are going to look like this. Most everybody gets in the 70s. Places like Hamilton, Jasper, probably right at 70, 71. Places like Coleman, Huntsville, Athens, over to Jackson County around Scottsboro, Fort Payne, there in DeKalb County, Lookout Mountain. You probably stay in the 60s all day, but not a bad day all in all. We start off fairly cloudy, that patchy fog we mentioned earlier, but the clouds will thin a bit in the afternoon. You can see this is noon. Cloudiness, probably at least partly sunny conditions across the northern third of the state, partly sunny to partly cloudy across the central and southern portions. But as we go into the nighttime hours, we'll see partly cloudy conditions for everybody. But clouding up pretty quickly again by Monday. Those showers will be in the area. It should be a mostly cloudy day, as you would expect. Let's use the GFS from 0Z last night. That was 6 p.m., showing as our model of record today to tell the weather story. A few showers to the north of Alabama today. We're mostly dry. GFS picking up on those same showers that the HRRR was there across the middle of the state tonight. They should be fairly inconsequential. But as we move toward Monday morning at 12Z, this is 6 a.m., pretty strong low pressure system there in central Iowa. Winds are going to be picking up over Alabama. We'll see some wind gusts to 40 miles an hour tomorrow. I think wind advisories will certainly be in the offing. And, the system that caused the severe weather over Oklahoma there will be over northwestern Arkansas and Missouri at that point. Don't think we'll experience any problems with that. You can see the showers moving on out Monday night, and Tuesday. Now, Tuesday promises to be a beautiful day. Sunny and mild conditions, afternoon readings topping out in the middle and upper 70s for most folks after starting off in the lower 50s. So a beautiful day on Tuesday. And then as we go toward Wednesday, though, we're going to be clouding back up again. You see some showers appearing as the frontal system that's been sort of lying across Alabama will be re-energized and pushed back to the north as a warm front. That continues during the day on Wednesday. Showers and thunderstorms break out to our northwest Wednesday afternoon. Good bit of instability here over the Arklatex into the Arkla-Miss. I think showers and thunderstorms will become severe in this area. I would expect the SPC will issue a new Day 5 outlook this morning that will probably put some of this area in a probabilistic outlook for Thursday, probably a 15% chance. Wouldn't be shocked at that. The uncertainties there relate to the return of moisture and instability, but I think there will be enough there for a fairly significant outbreak of severe storms on late Wednesday night into Thursday to our west. Now, Wednesday, we're in a developing warm frontal system across Alabama. That's going to mean mostly cloudy conditions, becoming breezy. Showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible during the day. Look for an afternoon high near 79. You can see, though, rain and thunderstorms beginning to develop to our northwest. Those sag down into Alabama Wednesday night, and we'll probably pick up somewhere around 3/4 to an inch of rain in all of that activity. It continues into Thursday morning. But as a surface low develops there over Arkansas, that system comes back to the north as a warm front. We get dried out during the day, but we'll be watching areas to the west. You can see pretty dynamic system. Good bit of snow there from northern Indiana and Illinois back through Missouri into southeastern Kansas and Oklahoma. It's rain and thunderstorms in the warm sector, though, and we'll see thunderstorms developing in the Arklatex into the Arkla-Miss during the afternoon and into the evening hours. Some of those storms could be strong to severe. I would fully expect the SPC to issue a Day 5 outlook for this area on Thursday, probably edging into western Alabama as that weakening system reaches us early Friday morning. That's good news. We start out with some strong storms during the morning. Clouds are going to thin only at the late afternoon, but they move out pretty quickly. A few snow flurries in northern Tennessee. Places like Nashville and Franklin could see some of that late Friday afternoon into Friday night. But we're setting the stage for a beautiful weekend. Sunny and cooler for your Saturday. Still breezy, sunny and milder coming for your Sunday. Moving on out into the week 2 period, high pressure, as we saw earlier on the upper pattern, mostly in control of our weather. That means a sunny and warming week across Alabama. Frontal system pretty active to the north, trying to build in sort of a backdoor cold air damming situation along the Atlantic seaboard. That could wedge its way back into Alabama later in the week. We'll watch that, but we'll trust those upper air patterns that showed us staying mostly warm to keep this a warm rain situation across Alabama. And the cold air damming could be some wintry precipitation, but this is just sort of a new feature, new development of the GFS. Go out to the end of the period. We can already see Sunday, March the 12th, high pressure large and in charge. That should be a fairly beautiful time across Alabama. Let's take a look at temperatures off the national blend of models. We're going to be in the 70s through Thursday, falling back into the upper 50s to near 60 Friday and Saturday, warming back into the 60s and eventually the 70s as we head into week 2. Temperatures are going to be mild at night through this week, falling back into the 30s over the weekend. Watch out for a light freeze over North Alabama, but we'll be back in the 40s and 50s as we go further into the week 2 voodoo period. These values right here are your These are temperatures off the national blend of models over the next 10 to 12 days, showing 70s across the area into Thursday, falling back into the upper 50s to around 60 on Friday and Saturday, and then warming back into the 70s in the week due period. Watch out for a light freeze over North Alabama next Saturday and Sunday mornings, but most folks should stay above that. Could be some frost, though. Still not anywhere near time to start growing things in central Alabama or North Alabama. Lows, though, generally going to be in the 40s and 50s as we head into that week 2 period as we edge ever closer to spring. Now let's take a look at QPF values from the Weather Prediction Center, showing some 2 to 4 inches of rain expected across northern half of Alabama, 1 to 1.5 inches across central sections, less than that over the south. The dryness lately in South Alabama becoming a bit concerning again, but the northern half of Alabama still pretty waterlogged. Weather Brains is the weekly netcast. It's all about weather. We had a fun show this week. Visited with Liz Leiter, the first forecaster of the SPC, the first female forecaster to issue a severe weather watch. Hard to believe we're talking about that in the 2023 era, but Liz was a delight. A lot of fun to talk to. Dr. Christine Harper joined us, talking about the early history of numerical weather prediction. Fascinating lady at the University of Copenhagen. We're going to be talking about the Global Lightning Mapper tomorrow night. Watch us live at 7 o'clock on the .2 channel, also on the YouTube /WeatherBrains channel, or catch us wherever you consume your favorite podcast. That show that we record tomorrow night will be up by early Tuesday morning. Well, that's your weather video for this Sunday. I'll have notes on the blog, complete look at the forecast coming up at noon, and updating you on anything that we watch that's interesting to the west. Don't worry about any severe weather here in Alabama from this system tonight or early Monday. We will be watching for severe weather potentially later in the week. James will be back for 2 days tomorrow. Scott will be here next Saturday. I'll see you Sunday. And until we get that chance, as I always tell you, keep an eye to the sky, because you'll always have something fun to look at.